I have been playing Baldur's Gate 3 a lot. As soon as it dropped on PS5, I was just pumping mad hours into this game. I think I have at least over 50. I've just been playing nonstop whenever I get a chance. It's so much fun, honestly, and I'd like to tell you why. So, as a disclaimer, I'm not usually a turn-based gamer. I usually play games like Dark Souls 3 or The Witcher 3, over-the-shoulder, third-person, action RPGs. Nothing against turn-based games like KOTOR and the like, but I like to be in control of my character in that instance. And watching people move from point A to point B to execute a move, it just feels kind of stale most of the time. And that was before I played this game, because this game, like the sound effects when you, cast a spell, or when you land an attack, or when your character goes crazy, it's all really, really good. And that's, not including the special effects too for looking at spells and attacks and whatnot. But all great looking things that I really wasn't anticipating liking, because if we're going back to like when the trailers were first dropping, I was like, oh, it looks like another medieval kind of game, turn-based. I'm not really interested, but the graphics are pretty good and the story looks pretty solid. So those were the two things that really drew me in, were the graphics and the story, and man, are they good. So just to give you like a small little taste, and this is no spoilers because this is what they show you at the very beginning of the game. Basically, you are infected with a parasite and you have to get a cure. And that's all I gotta tell you. The adventures that you undergo on your way to your goal, it's awesome. I want to relate this game to the level of quality of Mass Effect 2. I think Mass Effect 2 is definitely my top 5 RPGs of all time that I've played. It's just like the setting, the story, the voice acting, the gameplay, phenomenal stuff. Mwah. Spaghetti meatball. But I think Baldur's Gate is fast approaching that same area. I haven't beaten the game yet. Larian Studios has done such a phenomenal job, and there's so much love and care in this game. And it shows in everything. It shows in the story, it shows in the graphics, the music, the special effects, the visual effects and stuff like that. It's all just so pristine, and it's a level of care that you don't find in games in the gaming industry nowadays. It's very far and few between that game companies, actually take the time to essentially do what CD Projekt Red was like, their motto was, it'll come out when it's ready. This company actually applied that and did that. So it's kind of funny how history repeats itself, because the way that CD Projekt Red garnered so much attention and popularity was because of how good The Witcher 3 was. And I feel like this is happening again, but for a different company with Baldur's Gate 3. It's the threes, isn't it? It's the threes. I think that's what it is. I think this game is really, really good. And going back to my earlier points, I didn't think I was going to like it. I thought I was going to drop $60 on this game and it was going to be a miss. And I was going to be like, well, sucks to suck. It looks pretty, but it's not for me. That's kind of how I felt about Dragon Age Inquisition. I know a lot of people say that Dragon Age Inquisition is probably the worst of the bunch. And I tried playing, Origins. And I tried playing Origins through an emulator and it just fucking sucked. I couldn't do it. Not because of the game, but because of the emulator itself. But yeah, the Dragon Age games, it didn't hit the same. It was BioWare, so you would think, this should be good, but I don't know, it just didn't. Especially, the turn-based actions in those games, it just didn't feel right for me. But in this game, it clicked. I got into it. I struggled a little bit in the first couple of fights, but I got into it and I was like, this is just it's fun. And when it clicks, and you glide on through combat, and it's intense, and it's like playing chess. If you like chess, it's like playing chess, but in fucking 4 dimensions. I don't know. It's not challenging in the same way that the Souls games are challenging, because they just beat you over the head until you learn. This game, it's just everything that you do matters. Everything that you say to a person, that you do within a community, the attacks that you make on a group of enemies, who you're putting in your party, how you're using these people in your party. It all matters, because one, enemies don't respawn. So any XP that you get is just flat. Like you can either fight enemies and get that XP, or you can smooth talk your way and do a passive and get XP that way. It's challenging, and a lot of the times I would find myself in like a rut because I'm just like, I'm getting pummeled. I can't beat certain enemies. And it requires me to, like, unfortunately go back sometimes quite a way. It makes me think like, okay, well, how can I position myself for this encounter in, you know, a different way that's going to put me in a benefit? Maybe if I put my characters up on a ridge overlooking the thing, maybe if I put my characters in stealth mode so they can sneak attack and surprise the enemies, all that stuff, and it makes it so versatile. Every experience is fresh. You never know really what's gonna happen. It's not like Dark Souls where it's like, yeah, you know, this guy has the same fucking 3 moves and I just gotta, like, if I need to get stronger, I can just farm it. I can fight like a big enemy over here in the back with a great sword and just hit him a bunch of times, kill him, gain souls, level up, come back to this dude I need to fight, and then just beat his ass with like brute force alone. Like, no, it's not like that. It's a refreshing gameplay style. In my playthrough, I'm a paladin. I'm very nature conscious. My oath is to protect nature and life and everything that's beautiful, and I'm like a hippie paladin kind of deal. I'm like a goody two shoes, and that's how I feel like I act in real life. So I act like that with my character, and so to see people like look up to me and call me a hero, and that, like, that same effect transfers throughout the game. You know, I meet these same people that I met in Act 1, in Act 2, and they remember all of my good deeds, and that alters the storyline and what I can do and what I can purchase for them, and it's like, it's awesome. It's really, really cool. I feel like it really just dials me back to an age of my life where I'm playing Fable on this square little box, and I'm just, you know, making all these decisions. I'm talking to people, and, you know, I'm being good or I'm being bad, and I'm just having a great time. I'm just having an adventure, just full of whimsy. My goodness, and not to mention the multiplayer, especially when you co-op with 4 different people, or 3 other people rather. It is just mayhem. It's just off the wall. Like, I'm a rogue with a heart, so like I'm kind of neutral, but I lean a little bit more towards good, I think. My brother is just goody two shoes, and then we have this one dude who dresses up as a lizard, and this dude is just full fucking chaotic evil, and then we have a wizard who's just kind of like a grumpy, but he kind of gets the job done kind of vibe. And it's so much fun to just run it with this crew of just misfits, is really what it is. It makes the gameplay super unpredictable, and we're just like last night, I had a moment where I was the only person that could save some of these dudes because they had gotten into a fight at a beach, and I wasn't with them, so I had to come in sneaking behind enemy lines to save one of the mages, and then me and him just duked it out with a couple of harpies, and we ended up clutching and saving the other 2 dudes. And it was just so much fun. It was just ridiculous and stressful. And then when we won, when we came out on top, there was that satisfaction. It was so good. But yeah, guys, I would say Baldur's Gate 3 is a must play, and I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, you know, tell me how you're doing in the game. If you have it, if you want to get it, tell me how you're gonna get it. You're gonna rob a bank or something. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.